Don't piss me off. Do not piss me off right now, baby. Cause this thing just don't want to stay up on my little on my candle. So let me just move that back a little bit. There we go. So we're gonna start it off like this. Good evening, spirit. Good evening, spirit. Good evening, spirit. Evening, spirit. Good evening, spirit. Spirit guides, ancestors, angels, lords, and the Orishas that guard and protect me from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet, all four corners of my life, inside and out. How art thou? How art thou? How art thou? Oh, wait a minute. Matter had a note when I hit it. Hold on. I wasn't prepared for that. But how art thou? Blessed and highly favored. And if you're not, you're about to be, you see. Okay? Long time no here. Your girl been MIA, but for good reason. And in due time, it will be revealed for why I had to go take the sabbatical. But as of right now, let's just all appreciate the fact that I am coming back into the fold to be able to deliver this little bit of wisdom that I do have for those who need some guidance and a little bit of straightening. Amen. I'm gonna get straight to it. The purpose of this video mainly is to talk about justice not being justified. Okay. If you are tapping in, tuning in, and under the sound of my voice, then you're more than likely of the third dimension and made up of flesh and bone. So there are certain systems and firms that are put into place that we all have to abide by, unfortunately, right? Let me recant that. Not all, but a good majority, and a good majority of those who have not been able to successfully unbind themselves and unlearn the ways that was programmed into us from conception all the way up into our adolescence, our teenagehood, and then ultimately our adulthood, which is where it really started to get oofy and goofy. Okay. Law enforcement and the organizations that are stemmed from such were not put into place to serve and protect as much as they like to promote themselves to be. They weren't, they're not your saviors. They're not here to actively uphold the righteous and condemn the wicked. They're not here to punish the bad guys and then make sure that those who are um, pure and good in nature are protected. None whatsoever. If anything, it's the exact opposite. How many times have we personally been in situations where the justice system was supposed to come to our aid, was supposed to do the very thing that they claimed that they were comprised of, and then not only disappointed us, but further traumatized and scarred us from what was already done. Too many times we are put in very dangerous and compromising positions, especially if you are of minority status or what they consider to be minority, because quiet as kept loud as may be, the ones who categorized that are the ones who are the real minorities, a very small and select few of the Earth's population who have just been able to have the authority to say who is the have and the have nots. And they really are the lesser thans. But that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. We're not gonna get into all of that right now. I want to be very concise and direct on what this message is. So stay tuned for that other message, baby, because it's gonna come. You know, your girl back in full effect, amen. But if you're of minority status, you have experienced that firsthand. And if you have not experienced it firsthand, you've experienced it by way of a family member, a friend, a loved one, colleague, a peer, someone in your community that you know in a roundabout way. So it's not like you're unfamiliar with what I'm mentioning, what I'm speaking on. If anything, you're probably more well versed than anyone else on this topic. An expert if you must. Okay. So this is where I not only our distrust for law enforcement and those who are supposed to uphold the whole serve and protect honor comes from, but also our need to be in defense when we are in communication or in engagement with them because we recognize that we're not in a safe place. We can't be vulnerable in the presence of these demonic forces that are seeking to steal, kill, and destroy. If you know anything, as you should, study to show thyself approved. The police force is the biggest gang that there is. So in Reaganomics, when he was talking about the war on drugs and about getting these gangs off the street, the real gangs were the very ones who was using battering rams to come into people's homes. Civilians, let's be clear, not cartel members, not the family of the La Familia, regular everyday civilians, working class individuals who are being traumatized by someone ramming through their makeshift door at the wee ages of 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, speaking about having an inkling that there is some drug uh, manipulation going on around here and they just are doing their due diligence. That's just one example. Okay. You're not safe anywhere. I don't care what type of weaponry that you may have, how much support that you may have from your familials, from your friends, from your spouse, from those in your community, from whatever gang that you have laid down and ordained yourself to, you're not safe. Do not ever once, while you are on this side of the dirt, believe it to be so. Even in the moments where it seems very quiet and very peaceful, where the land is still and things seem to have come to a balance, of equilibrium, that's when you're the most vulnerable and the most prone to being violated. This is not a message about the fact that you can't rest. You need rest, absolutely. You need to be able to finagle some type of peace that you can in this existence and hold on to it as firmly as you hold on to anything else. Defend it with your life. But do not rest on your laurels believing that in the time of crisis or in the time of volatile aspects that you will have the necessary protection that you need. You will not. Especially if you are of the marginalized. And who are they, you ask? The marginalized are those that society has deemed to be a stain on their idea of utopia. i.e., the minorities, Black, Spanish, Asian, Mediterranean. That is confirmation. Women, for shit sure. All types of women, but especially minority women. The disabled in all aspects, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. The elderly are those who have come to a certain threshold of age where they can no longer properly take care of themselves and need the assistance and support of others to be able to continue to navigate life. And then the alternatives, those who may be on the spectrum, not just those who may be on the spectrum, but those who have not been clinically diagnosed, but absolutely exhibit behavior of those who have mental health disorders. And that is starting to affect every other system that they have, their nervous system, their endocrine system, their digestive system. Those who live by a different sexual orientation, other than the one that is primarily upheld and said to be of God's law, which is heterosexualism. If you're anything other than that, then you are a stain. Those who choose to not align with the creed of this country and therefore have been deemed as an infiltrator from another land. Even though they are born here, they have contributed to this progression of this land. They have added to the resources. They have aided in the progression. I said that twice, so it must be some truth in it. They have aided in the progression and expansion of this land, and but because they don't necessarily see eye to eye with those who are in political positions and who have the authority to say which laws go where, they are deemed the enemy, the public enemy, enemy number one. I say this as a cautionary tale to someone out there who needs to hear this. You're living a falsity, a falsehood. You are in ooh la la land if you believe that anyone that has taken that oath is doing anything in your best interest. And they could be your family, they could be your friends, they could be your wife or your husband, they could be someone that you knew growing up and that you feel like has a certain loyalty to you just because of that. Do not ever get comfortable. Do not ever expose much of yourself to them, and do not allow them to interweave into your life on the premise that they are there for the betterment of you. They will, with presented with the opportunity, destroy you. And the gag about that is they won't get condemned and held to the fire for doing so. If anything, they will be promoted. They will be upgraded in status and in life's pleasures for harming, for torturing, for stalking, and the ultimate, for killing. If they spill blood, watch them go from a regular foot soldier to a colonel, a detective to a lieutenant. Y'all not hearing me though. Those who love you are grieving at the loss of your life, and they are being celebrated for taking another. This is the way of the world that we live in. Don't believe anything else. Because if you do, then you're just choosing to be actively blind and deaf to what is happening before you and what is being perpetuated in everything that we do in the media, in everyday working, mundane, and pedestrian life. The only way out is through. I didn't have to tell you that, but that was just a reminder just in case you needed to know. And if you can't beat them, join them. And I don't mean join them in the ways that you are aligning yourself with their value system. I mean join them in the ways that you can become a part so that you can break apart from the inside out. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? You need to have a mole in the operation, amen? And maybe, just maybe, you need to be the mole in the operation. Sharpen your weapons. And I don't mean just weaponry of the calico kind. That's confirmation, baby. They don't want that message to be done. Y'all hear? I couldn't make this up even if I tried. I'm just the messenger. And the sickening part about it all is those who really do have the gift of the message, we target it the most. We put ourselves on a line to be able to deliver these messages. I'm able to speak this because I'm not safe either. With as much spiritual protection as I may have. Just recording this video, y'all hearing it. I'm not making this shit up. Just, and it's not funny. I'm not laughing because it's comical. I'm laughing because it just amazes me how God is often in the midst to be able to allow confirmations to happen the way that they do. It's never delude yourself into believing anything other than the fact that you are going to be put in dangerous situations. You're going to be violated if ever given the opportunity for those who feel like they have the right to violate you, and you will not get any sympathy, empathy, or kindness from others because of it. If anything, they will laugh at you, they will mock you, and they will say that you deserved it because they hate you just as much as those who is so emboldened to do the ill and the violence. They hate you probably even worse. Have been praying for someone to come along. Have been praying that hopefully, just maybe, one of those death angels can come through and end it all. Because having you in the midst is a threat to their sensibilities. Why is it a threat? Because you highlight parts of them that they know that they will never be, or they pretend to be, but are not actually. And I'm speaking without speaking, so you understand what I'm saying. Do you know how frustrating it is for someone to look at you and say that they are better, but every single time they see you, there is a glow about your spirit, there is a pep in your step, there is a lightness on your soul, there is a God around you. Oh, you eating they spirit alive, you hear me? Oh, you're fucking with their spirit and they can't take it. You stand your ground, you hear what I'm saying to you. Even in the face of adversity, especially in the face of adversity. No mercy, no retreat. Do no harm, but take no shit. You understand what I'm saying? And if they want to go to war, make sure you make it the time of their life. Slow and steady wins the race. You understand what I'm saying? It ain't about who's the loudest and who got the most backing. Those are usually the weakest. It's not about who can throw the hardest punch either. It's about who's going to be still standing when it's all said and done. And if you listening to me, you gonna still be standing. They say that pain shouldn't change you, that your experiences in life shouldn't harden you, that you should still remain in a certain capacity. But they only say that because they want you to stay stuck in a position where you're easily manipulated, where they can benefit from your fear and what they perceive as weakness. You better become a gentle monster. You hear what I'm saying? That's the message. This is the Sunbeam Queen, the prophetess, the conjuress, the motherfucking Milene. Godspeed.